From Divines to Starve the Light, Adrienne Elise, January 6th through 13th, 2025, Ancient Mystical Wisdom, Supernova Astrology Update. We have just experienced an intense couple of weeks of astrology, with all of our personal planets in tension transits with big players. The shifts and changes are beginning to hit home in our life, and we are feeling it up close and personal. It all centers around the epic generational square between Jupiter and Saturn, which happened on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Mercury, coming out of retrograde shadow, triggered the square at the end of the year. Jupiter in square to Saturn is about turning the wheel of time and taking back our ideal Christ consciousness timeline. In order to do that, we have to heal the issues of the Piscean age. And wow, have they been blooming. Jupiter is retrograde in Gemini, telling us that something from the past has not been expressed. Jupiter will turn direct on February 2nd, which should bring forward a wild expression of all that has been suppressed. It's time for the truth to be spoken, so that humanity can free itself from the lies. Mercury has come out of retrograde shadow as of January 4th. We are at the top of the mountain, and what do we see? Mercury will come into square with Neptune and Pisces, as we face the delusions of the past. There is still a thick fog of confusion, but you might get a glimpse of a smooth and coherent path, which can come to light in front of you. We are claiming back the vision of the greater quest. A new future is beginning to unfold, and where the path has been dark is now being revealed into the light. Venus has just moved over into the sign of Pisces. We are healing the traumas and reawakening the mother's dream. Now it's her turn to trigger the generational square. Venus will come into square with Jupiter on January 14th and 15th, and conjunct Saturn on January 18th. We are back on the quest, but the journey is inward with Mars in retrograde. Mars just had his second of two oppositions with Pluto. We are fighting for a new way forward, but first we have to go back to Mom. Mars retrograde from Leo to Cancer is the wounded warrior, coming back home to the Great Mother. We are releasing failure and shame energies around how far we got away from her. We will feel a shift of energy when Mars transits back into the sign of Cancer on January 7th. Venus at the beginning of Pisces and Mars at the end of Cancer brings a message about the new timeline. It's the law of the land, the mother's world being reborn. It's a sweet energy when Venus in Pisces comes into trine with Mars in Cancer on January 26th. The masculine and feminine are harmonizing into their new roles of empowerment. It's the last bit of the North Node in Aries. Now we take a stand. The nodes will shift signs on January 12th. The North Node will intercept the Aries point of astrological spring before moving into the sign of Pisces. This 0 degrees Aries point brings a message of rebirth. Over the next few months, Saturn, Neptune, and Mercury and Venus, 3 times each, will cross over this marker of new beginnings. This confirms a new start for the Christ consciousness timeline. Let's go. Thank you for being here, Earth Steward. We could not do it without you. Don't forget that you are not alone going through this. No one can take from you who you really are. It's coming back to you, and nothing can stop it. Be strong and brave in this final battle. This week the Sun in Capricorn comes into square with Chiron on January 10th, and Black Moon Lilith on January 11th, making a cardinal T-square. The Sun in Capricorn at the top of the square is saying that we clean up our world and take back our power by coming back into our own autonomous sovereignty. Detox is happening all on its own, and support for spiritual work is returning. This T-square with the Sun and Black Moon Lilith and Chiron will take us up to the Cancer full moon, which is happening on Moon Day, January 13th at 24 degrees Cancer. Exactly. The Cancer full moon will be in sextile to Uranus and Taurus, the Sun in trine to Uranus. This brings a magical element. The moon will go on to trine up with Neptune and Pisces, the Sun in trine with Neptune. This is an activation of the forgotten codes. We are finding our permission to access the ancient mystical wisdom within. Could it be a reclaiming of the miracles of the Piscean age? Supernovas. Time to put on your robe of light. From AdrienneElise.com.